Challenge accepted.
These 6 claws in Hangar have wrecked more PBs than you can imagine. The fact is, they actually aren't that difficult to get through. The problem is that we tend to rush them. Now the casual strat is just walking through 1 claw at a time, but we're speedrunners, we never walk. The second strategy is to skip the second and third claws and take the rest one at a time to give us plenty of time to destroy that spike wall. Now the third strategy is to only stop once in the middle of the claws. We're going to start running just as the second claw starts to drop. This will allow us to run past 3 claws before having to wait under the 4th. If we start running again as soon as there's a gap, we should make it through without having to stop again. Just don't forget to start shooting as soon as that wall spawns. Now the problem here is timing. Sometimes the claws are not in the right position to use the fastest strategy, and so we end up having to sort of dodge claws like this. Fortunately, we have a visual cue to determine whether or not we can go for a single pause strat. If the first claw hits the ground when I'm on top of the lines that I'm currently standing on, then I know I can make it. If the claw hits the ground before or afterwards, I know I'm going to need to stop more than once. Now there is actually a bonus strat that we can use. See, the claws, like the flames in the previous stage, happen to be on a global timer, and we can use this to our advantage. If we find ourselves in a situation where we have to stop before the first claw, then we simply pause when it's on its way up, just like that, and run through as usual. If we find ourselves having to stop at the second claw, we just pause when it's on its way up and carry on as normal. Notice I had to pause for the wall a claw later, but we're still able to get through with a fast strat. Now, I'm going to be honest here. You have about a second to not only decide whether to pause or not, but also when to pause and which claw to wait under. Remember that we're trying to pause to skip the correct claws from dropping, allowing us to run through. And all of this only saves about a second. If you're a beginner, I'm going to highly recommend don't push your luck with pausing the game. Get used to the easier strats first.